we are about ready to get in. Yeah, we are going to be ready to get into Villa here. It is going to be Samsung Morningstars Athena versus B-Titans. We'll see how exactly this is going to go down as we get back into Villa. We'll see the ban phase. And this is a good thing about a ban phase because we might see the same map, but different map bans can different operator bans, may completely change up the map and how it's played. And already completely different operator ban in Hibana being brought off the board.
Yeah, that is a big change in how it was handled previously. Taking Hibana out obviously really limits how kind of quick and how, I guess, the angles that you can hold. Villa is a map where if you can get a long angle with an ACOG in or out of the building, it can be absolutely deadly. If you think about, say, peeking into Vault from balcony or covering those kind of longer sites from 90. And taking out Hibana forces the attackers where if they want those, they're going to have to play and fight for them. They're going to have to come in the building. They can't do those cheeky tricks from the far side. And Gridlock, another one who saw almost consistent use in the previous map, gone, taken out of the equation.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I really wouldn't have expected a Gridlock ban to be coming out, though. Of B-Titans, we will see a mirror ban go through as well. Definitely to be expected. And now it's kind of up to an Echo or Maestro. Maybe something even different, maybe like a Pulse.
You know, it's not a bad ban on this map. Pulse can do so much. And Echo, again, is a very clever ban here. You've got to kind of think of how decisive he can be. We didn't really see him get too much. Well, we didn't see him do too much in the previous rounds in the previous map. But when he does get tested in a position where there's so many places to hide your cameras and so many places to hide yourself, you can just really control that final 30 seconds to a minute of a round almost single-handedly.
Well, we'll see round number 1 getting underway. It is going to be an Aviator Games Room defense, but we are going to see a Castle coming out from Oracle. I expect this to get 6-picked, but no, it's going to be Smoke onto the Maestro instead. So I'm interested to see how this Castle gets deployed. I mean, I'm going to guess it's going to be very heavy 90 hold, with like Castles going down into that ball window, and they're just going to hold around 90, maybe open up a rotate into Vault.
Yeah, you would assume it would be that kind of thing because one of the things about this map that makes it so powerful, as we saw, is the rotation capabilities, is the flank opportunities. And if you start to limit that, you can kind of really just cut yourself in the foot because if you make it into a turtle shell and they find a way in, you've then got to find your way in, which is sometimes tough if they've got superior angles and superior kind of guns and range. And you know, you've got to, if you want to play Castle, you've got to play him smart. And that is the kind of summation of my experience in ranked and most Castle players I've ever found.
10 seconds to go.
So, yeah, the 90 hold, as I said. She castled the window that I was going to say, the ball window. And the 90 window also going to get castled out here. Although, interestingly, haven't made a rotate into 90 into the vault.
Yeah, they're going to try and keep it, I guess, held, but it really depends how they want it, what bodies they want to leave on 90 itself. And as we said, it's a ferocious corridor with the ACOGs that can be wielded there. And I think it's Electra is actually playing it with the Doc ACOG too. And it just becomes this kind of long distance battle inside the building. It is really kind of a big hold in terms of this, and whoever does get the frag across that can be the absolute influential maker. And you can see the amount of barbs they've thrown out there as well. They are waiting to allow that Doc to kind of creep around and hold it. And I guess it's similar to the way you can get, it's like a bigger version of how you would hold 90 on Coastline, where you would dig into the corner, hide by the vase, and swing around with an SMG on Bandit or Jaeger or someone that can kind of be close to point and swing. But they're doing it with an ACOG on a grander scale. They're trying to keep the castle to keep some control, but I guess we'll just have to see if Electra can make it work.
Yeah, I guess we will see, but B-Titan's going for a very master-sided push here. Just Razo and Mr. Incognito moving through onto that master side and clearing it all out. And, you know, against this kind of castle push, this is exactly the operators that you do indeed need. Sheena could be pushing through onto the other side, but Electra, with that prone angle, going to try and do the damage that she can, but unable to really do much. But as long as the 90 window is closed, like, she can hold this for a while, honestly.
Well, that's it. She's the kind of cornerstone of what seems to be this hold. Obviously, they've got the Jaeger on red, who's been a bit aggressive and giving themselves a little bit more of a swing. But otherwise, it's just, you know, that it's going to fall down to the dock. It's going to fall down to how many angles they can hold. Great shutdown there. You could hear them going off. Nomad is on the board as well, which again, love to see it. Wanted to see it in the previous round. And here it is. It's the battle that Doc could make or break this. Finds the push against Sophia. Great movement there. Going to pull back just a little bit and stim themselves back up. And this is exactly what they wanted to do. I believe they've opened the hatch dead on 90 as well for rotation potentially. But here's Schnat still trying to crack open with the hard destruction and at least pull some pressure from the defenders away so the landing entrance can go. But the Doc is just going to try and creep round as the bullets fly. Electra finds another. And this is fantastic play by that cornerstone.
Missed impact trick coming out from Oracle there. Is not going to be able to deny the wall into Aviator, but Electra still holding down. It's going to white peek out with the Doc, but only just going to miss and missing Incognito as she tries to push it all the way up. Deshani going to go for a plant, however, but the Doc still wins it. What is happening right now? Electra gets a triple kill. The Diffuser is unable to go down, and this is looking all over for B-Tines right now. Schnat desperately tries to get down this Diffuser, but it doesn't look like it's going to be possible as yet. Nancy Drew does some investigating, takes it down. I really got to stop saying that. I mean, said that every time.
Okay, because in the canon, I'm assuming this is the character Nancy Drew, and she got so invested in solving mysteries that she's joined the Special Forces, and this is actually canon now. So Nancy
it's a
Drew,
new wave, yeah.
Nancy Drew, new novel. She's in the Special Forces, and she's armed to the teeth, and now she's going to play Smoke and commit war crimes. Trophy Statue we're going to head to next as they set themselves up. Brilliant play there from holding those long angles. Really made the most of what this map can be. And I'm excited to see if they can try and continue it in points that are lesser seen to have those angles. I want to see where they throw that Doc, because they could just throw her back in 90 and hope for a push from that side. Because if they can hold it with the kind of Golem control they had, it does give them a good kind of inlay into the entire top floor.
So, round 2 getting underway, and we'll see exactly how this is gonna go down. Let's see B-Tines with heavy droning coming out. We'll see exactly how this is gonna go through. Seems like another heavy 90 hold, however, this time is gonna be coming through from Oracle, and Electra is gonna be playing on the Maestro instead. It's just she put a Maestro cam, I believe, in Master.
Okay. I mean, they're up against a couple of operators that can get rid of that, but I guess it depends what they really want to achieve with it, whether they're going to try and do something sneaky or just kind of be blatant about it. It depends how quickly they can kind of shut down the utility there. They've set themselves up to obviously be able to respond. I think they're going to try and hope it goes unnoticed and zap a charge. I mean, if you go in on information, there's loads of places you can kind of drop a Valkyrie cam underneath the fireplace or the bed is always really nice for information. So I think they're just trying to be aggro with it. But again, we can see the hold on red stairs. Jaeger, yet again, is kind of buried there. And it seems like they've got the pulse playing underneath the feed information, but they're otherwise trying to keep it a little bit more stoic, their defense there. Keeping it quite solid.
Well, Ice is still going to be playing below with that pulse monitor. She's going to be able to get all that info, and we did already talk about the effectiveness of pulsing, and we've already seen it once today, about how effective this pulse can indeed be, giving all that info and getting those early nitro kills up on the board. Also, just interesting to note that Schnat is running that reflex still on the LA5. Don't see that too often.
No. I mean, I guess it's the argument. It's like when you watch like Feral play. Every single round, he changes the sights. CC opens the frags down in the library, pushing towards mudroom and living room and trying to find a bit more bodies. But again, roam clear was what we kind of missed out on in the previous jaunt to Villa.
Yeah, definitely. But that roam clear is going to indeed start. Ice is going to get droned out, but she's going to take out the drone. We'll see CC. The captain of B-Tines to be able to do a bit of roam clearing of herself. She's going to be so low HP and she's going to get taken down. A bit of a misplay coming out from her. Ice is going to remove her off the board, and that is the IQ going down very early on. A big pick coming out from Samsung, and they're still able to play this pulse below. They're going to be aware of this.
there is a little bit of a hold, and there is the C4 taking out the Thermite as well. Not sure if they managed to get the wall upstairs open, but here comes a bit more of the push. 3 versus 3. It's blow for blow here as they battle in the master bathroom. And Schnat is just going to try and wide peek and push away from the battle. There's still the Bandit kind of watching the angle, but no, they couldn't get it open. Great C4 usage there. And oh, big take. Another clocks onto the belt, and it's just Sophia in a 2 versus 1. But with 25 seconds and the diffuser cold on the other side and a Maestro cam just kind of paying attention, well, it's a very tough spot to be in.
Yeah, Razo all alone. It's still winnable, though, in a 1v2, but 15 seconds left to go on the clock. You gotta get in, but no info. And Athena will take the round. Very aggressive holds coming out from Athena. I'm honestly liking this. This is definitely a way better Samsung Athena than we've been seeing recently.
Oh, yeah. It's a very good opening to the game. Obviously, this one seems to have a lot more aggression with it, a lot more kind of fire. Both teams, I guess, they know Villa. They know you've got to be fast with it. It's too big of a map to be slow and steady, even for the most slow and steady teams. And these teams are responding very well, but SMS are just responding that little bit better as we go into the first floor point. Dining room, kitchen. This is the point that should be a battle.
Lesion 6-hit onto a Maestro. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It's two slightly different.
Have you ever seen a Lesion 6-pick? I don't think I've ever seen one.
No, I mean,
I guess it makes sense to 6-pick in Lesion. In a way,
it makes you kind of cautious and worried about push. Of that lineup of operators, it's the most surprising one to like. It's the one that would stumble you most, because if you see a castle, you'll still expect castle. Kaid, you expect electronics.
Yeah.
And mute as well, doubling down there.
It's more like, out of all the operators to hide, I think the one to hide here is either castle or Kaid, not the Maestro. It's kind of interesting. It's definitely interesting, like, seeing how different teams approach the 6-pick in either, like, hiding operators or changing operators or trying to trick the other team into thinking where they're going to go or, like, something like that. Like, the castle usage has definitely been very interesting from Samsung so far. Like, they've had these very aggressive castle holds so far. And I'm liking it. I'm liking it, honestly.
So the thing about castle is, if it's worked in a good strategy, and you've kind of a map like this where there's always a plan B point of entry and exit, you can really do some good creative aggressive holds. Because if you think about other maps where you've got castle, you think about a map like Border, when you do route people round, whether it's against the bathroom door and the kind of teleside or that upstairs armory hold, the route is a little bit of a loop. It's a circle, and you know where else they've kind of got to go. Whereas on Villa, there's always an option B, but then there's an option C of a route you can take, and then a D option. There's so much kind of versatility just to the amount of movement you can do. Castle can be a very creative, aggressive operator for this, which is rare for Castle.
She ain't gonna try and get very aggressive with things, but they know that she's there right now. This is not a great position to be in. Razo could actually just impact her out of this position. It's good Electra, however, from Samsung, could just pick up the very first kill of the round. Is Kinito going to go down? The Ash main of B-Titans out of it. And what? The Jaeger got away with this? Hello?
Yeah.
Is that a magic trick? How did that happen? What? How did this happen? Is the Astro Hatch open? Yes. Oh my god. That's like the great escape right there.
That's incredible. And they're going to drone it and realize now. But I believe you can see Castle creeping up at the staircase below. So they have a bit of response there. And if they don't kind of root out anyone that's playing by that kind of hatch, this room's still not safe. Because you know that they can use vertical. They've been using vertical before. Sisi finally puts that Jaeger out of the mystery, solves the magic trick as they start to aggressively clear down.
Yeah, 4v4 definitely still very winnable, but we've really got to pick up the pace a little bit here. We still got our hard breacher on the board. We got that laundry wall open. I'm surprised that no one's gone for that laundry push just yet. No smoke up on the board means limited plant denial options here for Samsung. We'll see how things do go through. Dasheen trying to push through China and see what she can do there. As Ice looking to deny it all. Does still have that nitro up on the board, but her head goes clean off Oh my god, what a shot from Electra and Ice, both picking up kills of their own. It's all down to Shnati and CC to try and pick up some kills of their own to try and bring this in a little bit more, but they're unable to find anything here. Just aimlessly walking around to try and get some kills here. The Maestro goes for the pre-fire, takes it down. It's all down to Shnati, but she can't make it happen. The Maestro just holding on. Electra just doing work in that mudroom.
It's the thing, what they're doing very well is they're picking these fights from range. They're obviously feeding enough information to each other to be able to kind of cover and work together, great, but it's the fact that they're not deciding to throw themselves into these fights. They're holding these angles, as we saw Doc do in the first round, as we've just seen the Maestro do that as well, and I really think it's playing so well into how they want to hold and how they want to control these maps. There's Amaru, which I'm assuming will be a 6th pick.
Yeah, it has to be. Unfortunate.
So, hey, it's nice to see her there. She's shown up, just trying to find some information about what's going on. We say, no Amaru, not yet. Come back in about 3 months, roughly.
I mean, actually, it's not even that long until the next
thinking
season,
about it.
I suppose, right? Because Japan's just around the corner for PL finals.
It's crazy how quickly this season's gone.
Well, for now, we'll see how Random Pool gets underway. We'll see an Aviator and Games Room defense coming out here from Samsung. What do you think of this lineup? Same lineup that they had the first time?
Yeah,
sure?
Yeah, there's no differences there as far as I recall. I assume they're going for the same hold before. I like the addition of the Jackal.
Yes.
Because what we've seen has been a bit of creative roaming, and I think getting some footprints, because you know they're doing this wide setup. You know they're kind of pulling across the top floor, putting some reinforcements to hold a little bit of those longer angles on the kind of northern side, and then they're running back. So get the angle, make them uncomfortable, and then utilize that with your Buck and your Zofia. They also even have the Jackal shotgun if they really want to be bold about it, but play to the verticality that this map can offer, and Jackal is such a good one at causing issues.
Yeah, the only concern I have is the lack of a hard breacher.
Because you know it's going to be this point as well. It's quite a bold pick, or quite a bold lack of pick, you should say, because you know they're going to be playing this point. The sheer craziness that it would take to not play this point when you have it up is you would pretty much have to be, as we said, the aforementioned French teams that often love to play the first floor, the ground floor points before these points. And, you know, so far we're generally not really seeing that. So to kind of attack it without anything, you saw the Jackal track go up, and then you saw the Jaeger go down. Miss Incognito, living up to her name as she hides by the pillars and dispatches of the German operator. And now they're wanting to push against Electra, who, when we last saw her on this corner, was an absolute force.
Well, she's going to miss the drone, so maybe not much of a force as she was last time. But as I said, it's kind of like you only need the 90 window closed completely, right? And then you're fine. And as long as this window is closed, you are absolutely fine just holding this down. Jackal tracking is going to come through, however, and Electra not really in a great position. That 90 window now is going to be open, and yeah, you just got to get the heck out of there.
Yeah, you cannot hold that any longer. And that was very, very, very good play there from the B-Titans to kind of coordinate and collapse perfectly against the Doc. And just from sheer pressure, from the combination of the Jackal and the operator that they were bringing as well to shut down the sides, just really did the work it needed to. There is CC finding Electra, takes the ACOG that has been such a nightmare for them out of the equation. Going to set up. There's still Nancy Drew solving mysteries with bullets. But Mrs. Incognito has gone down. Miss Incognito, sorry, has gone down as they start to break in via the vault side. And it's suddenly a 1 versus 5. And Nancy Drew is all that is left, hiding in the games room, sees the Nomad and takes her head off. but the diffuser is down. A post-plant situation, good reactions. There is a lot of bullets in that Alder. Gonna reload before they go for the actual push. Even though there's 32, may as well go with a full mag, because you know that you are gonna get one push and one push alone. And unfortunately, it is just not enough as the B Titans take their first round.
Definitely the round that they needed there. We'll see how it is going to be going down, and we'll see exactly how things are going to be progressing for B-Titans. But if they can get one more round here on the attack, then they can keep themselves in it. But definitely a much, much better round from them. It's just, like, absolutely wild that they win that round without a Hard Breacher.
I mean, it may be one of the first times I think I've ever seen that round, that attack won without a Hard Breacher. Like, it's one of the few times I've ever seen it attacked without a Hard Breacher, outside of bans in particular, stuff like that. Like, normally, even if both Hard Destructions are off, people will still bring a Maverick because you kind of need it. And just from the coordination alone, is they corralled that point into theirs.
I guess overall it kind of made sense with how they knew they were going to hold that with the castle setup on 90. I thought they actually did pretty well with dismantling that with the Jackal tracking and then using the Zove here to open up 90 castle with having someone already repelled there. Like, they did quite well to push the dock out of there, which was a big area they were contesting for a long time last time. So we'll see how this goes down. We've seen a little bit of a change up in strategy from Samsung. They opted to bring the Valkyrie this time.
I think it's good. I know we briefly touched upon how good Valkyrie can be on this map, especially when used in combination with good information, which we've seen SMS running so far. Like, they have kind of been combining those ACOGs and those sight lines with just the, okay, they're coming and they're pushing. And yeah, it's been a very, very nice combination so far. And I think Valkyrie is a good addition to that, because the way they're holding has been a little bit off point, a little bit kind of out there, and having the versatility of that portable information, it could work very, very well.
It can work very well, and definitely seeing still the addition of Nomad here. No IQ being brought though, which was something that CC was bringing quite a lot during the first half of these attacks.
It's a heck of a round to decide not to bring it when they've decided to bring Valkyrie. It's like one of those, like, unfortunate timing.
Yeah,
things.
I mean, the Valkyrie was a 6th pick, so I guess it's like hard to predict that they were gonna bring that.
Yep.
But I guess we'll see how they do decide to clear all of this out.
Well, there is the opening frag. Maestro already taken out, and there is at least a return fire, and it's Nomad. That is a big, big operator to take care of, because they know that they've been bringing the Nomad, and sure, Nomad hasn't had an effect noticeably directly in the game so far, but just having her gives a passive bonus to a team, because now look at how Ice has a little bit more confidence to try and push against the back of Incognito. And at the same time, you can see the pair of Zofia and Twitch are a bit less, well, I was going to say they're a bit more concerned about it, but not anymore, as they just tear the Valkyrie apart. Nancy Drew finds the return, though, and this is blow for blow right now.
Good initial room clear, though, and that Valkyrie of the Blood is definitely a big pick. There's Nitro down. And, you know, that also downstairs from are going down as well. Nancy Drew taking quite a lot of hits here. Attempting to bandage trick. Are you crazy? Nancy Drew. Oh, my God. She's not going to go for it. That's definitely a good idea. But she is going to get droned out, however. She could go for the pre-fire here if she's feeling brave about it. And looks like she will go for that. Nancy Drew will go down. But will get traded out immediately. Quite a lot of blow for blow, as you said.
Well, I think they went for the... Oh, there is Doc. But Doc can always get themselves back up. Does find a little bit of an angle. And, well, maybe the life was saved there by the Jaeger. And it's now just down to Schnat with an open wall and a diffuser in pocket. And a lot of time, really, to just kind of find a way in. But there's a lot of noise being made by the shrapnel littering the floor. You know where Doc is. If the information's been fed, you probably know where the other one is. And there they go. Beautiful take there by Schnat. Gonna go for the plant. There's 25 seconds. Are they gonna stick the entire thing? Doc fires and the diffuser goes down. We're now in a post plant, and that was brilliant play by the Thatcher, who can now creep around and has made this a very uncomfortable position for a Doc that has already hit the floor once. They still have 2 stim pistols. I'm not sure why they haven't decided to get themselves up and over before they pick this, which is going to be the final firefight, and instead going to slowly swing around and look for a body who is, for all intents and purposes, disappeared off their radar. A bit concerned. There's the fire and there's the movement. Thatcher does just not enough.
Look
to
at
stop
that!
It.
Look at the HP from Miracle. Literally
Wow.
1 HP in a dream to bring it in with the spray and pray. Samsung Athena take round number 5 in almost a heartbreaking defense.
That was... Well. Oh, and it was... I'm kind of lost for words, really. I kind of called for a bit more health and, you know, didn't even need it. Just went for it. And it was a very, very good attempt there from Thatcher, though.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy as well, you mentioning the health, because if she had boosted herself, then, you know, that could have ended differently. But, you know, I guess she knew. It was all calculated. She knew she couldn't lose 74 health there. But we'll see how it does go down. Round number 6 getting underway, and this is a round that B-Titans so desperately need. If they don't win this round, I really do not see them winning the map.
I mean, we talked about it before. We said 5 versus 1 is a very, very hard position to be in. The 6-0 is an impossible situation, but a 4-2, when you've pulled 2 rounds from attack, I mean, that's still a fight. That's still a battle when you're going onto your defense on Villa. Like, the mentality of how this round can swing is going to be the bigger decider overall, I would say. Like, how that can kind of carry you across from one side to the other. And I will... It's been quickly pointed out to me that I've been pronouncing the name wrong. It's Schnatty. And there's just not enough letters, apparently, in the naming scheme, unfortunately. Apologies, Schnatty.
If only CCS Women's was on LAN, then you could just have as many characters as you
I know.
want.
Just there's no limit on LAN. Please send us the LAN build and then give us a LAN. But
Yep.
those are the future dreams. Ubisoft, if you're listening, hit us up. Setting stuff, and I was going to actually call it as well. Sorry, when the crazy bandit trick happened before, and then the round got super exciting, I couldn't. Maybe that was just in celebration of Jess, who has always done crazy bandit things on Twitter and ridiculous bandit tricks. I think that was just a node, really, to the league. Build a highlight reel of bandit tricks.
I'm not sure if that's going to be yeah, that could be a good highlight reel, I suppose.
I would watch, but
yeah,
here comes the push. They've met the castle and they're a bit confused by the looks of it. They knew they were playing the castle before, and I guess they just want to kind of hold the angle. But Barker's just going to sit and wait as the anvil, as the hammer tries to strike and push across the top floor and catch any roamers out. But by the looks of it, they're all buried in that far side. They have a lot of ground that they can take control of right now. And they've got to kind of get themselves get a bit of a move on, I would say.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, a little bit of a move on indeed. We'll see that is going to be going down, and it still feels like B-Titans don't really know how they want to attack this just yet. Not sure what Dashini's really doing outside a ball window here, but looks like they have got a lot of control. They need to start breaking through this castle barricade. It looks like Razo's getting ready to potentially do something here. Potentially missing Cognito as well. Like, they have so many soft destruction options here. They have frag grenades, they have breaching rounds, they have Zofia charges. Just absolutely everything. But as talking about Zofia charges, Zofia herself is going to be taken off the board by Electra. This is not going to look good for the attackers so far. They're just stalling out. So much stalling out.
Yeah, I mean, from the momentum and pace we saw previously, they've kind of got a little bit slowed, and I think that's a bad reaction to how this is kind of broken down so far, because it was very good, those first rounds, and yes, it was great plays that kind of won it, but great plays can kind of fall victim sometimes. Like, it doesn't take someone getting a 3k or 4k, or if it takes someone getting a 3k or 4k every round to win you the rounds, it doesn't mean you're particularly doing anything wrong on the attack, and it can very quickly go the other way. 4 versus 3 and 30 seconds left. I think this is the most operators we've seen between these two teams left alive at this point.
Ah, yeah, well, definitely, potentially. Dashini is going to take Shini off the board. We'll see how things are going to be moving through. Now, a 3v3 situation, we'll see Iracle still holding down. We've still got 2 C4s up on the board. No, we don't. Nancy Drew brought the impacts. She doesn't have any left remaining. So only 1 C4 left remaining on the clock. This is not looking good. Ice having to deploy that if she wants to make anything happen here. Incognito getting caught in the crossfire, but goes for the pre-fire, takes one down, and gets traded instantly. But they're gonna know where Iracle is. She's just holding down. The timer is counting down. The plant is going down. However, Adeshini is going to be covering. Yes, she sees it and takes her down with a headshot. And that is a round B-Titan so desperately needed to keep them in.
4-2, and a round like that with the momentum going to swing over to your defense on Villa. Well, that's a good place for B-Titans to be in. And for SMS to start this so powerfully and kind of drop off a little bit, you kind of hope they can kind of pick themselves up for this next swing and next few rounds. It's 4-2, but it's a 4-2, and you're now on attack on Villa.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I feel like both sides are pretty content with this. Maybe Samsung a little bit disappointed that they kind of threw a couple of defense rounds that they really ought to have won. But I suppose that's kind of what Siege comes down to in the end, like who makes more mistakes.
Yeah, it's always the hard thing in the decider between teams is sometimes they'll make a mistake that we're not even sure about, but it can be such an integral part of a defense that everything falls apart. You can make a mistake in which way you swing when you enter a door. You can make a mistake on a drone going array. There's so many things that can kind of fall apart that are so minor and so inconsequential by themselves, but they can end up, it's like the butterfly effect where it can warp an entire round for a team. Yeah, and that's the delicacy of Siege, I think, and the delicacy of an attack and a defense in this game is every kind of step can matter, unless you get put on a particular operator and then you're just told to just frag out.
So we'll see how the first defense round does start for B-Titans. I think this is going to be a pretty defining round, honestly, for how the rest of the game is going to play out. Because now we're 4-2, right? Like, that's kind of expected. But if Samsung come in here and they win the first attack round, then that might just be the confidence they need and exactly the kind of start that they need to actually now close out the map. They have that score advantage, so they won't need too many attacks to bring this in. But B-Titans are definitely at an advantage, I think. Or, well, at kind of like the content line.
Yeah, it's the thing about it where the turn of the half, regardless of where you're sitting, can be so decisive just in terms of mentality and kind of finding yourselves on fresh ground and fresh footing. And I guess we'll see how these two teams can kind of respond to the situation that they're in, because if you get stuck coming into this, because everyone, if you get stuck coming into the attack and you're a bit dragging your heels, it can really just bite you in this.
Yeah, definitely you can. CZ going to be moving below here. Pulse. Doesn't look like there's too much roam clearing happening just yet from Samsung. As Mr. Incognito playing a little bit more solo up on the statue side. So, a pretty spread out roam coming out from B-Titans. And again, I feel this is kind of the issue that T3H had.
Yeah, it's... Oof.
Oh no, that is not something that you can let happen. That is such a bad place to drone.
You do wonder why they just weren't 3 feet back and out the door when they droned, but again, we talked about it before. Little mistakes, little kind of accidents can lead to things like that, where you lose your buck, you lose your soft
That was like 2 ships passing in the night. That Iracle just about missed CC there, and she's gonna score the kill! Oh my god! That was so close to CC getting her head taken off, but no, she will score it out. And this is honestly looking so good right now. Pulse kill will come out as well from below, and CC with a triple kill. And this is just looking beautiful.
Yeah, it's just really coming together for this defense. And it's almost been understated in a beautiful way, where every beat has seemed to kind of fall at moments where you wouldn't have really expected a swing kill to happen. Here's the first bit of aggression, and great take there as they push right into sight. Electra, who's been having a great game so far, watches a teammate die and then dies themselves. Unfortunately, B-Titans bring themselves 1 round further up.
that round was completely on CC. She played that so well. That is exactly how you play a pulse down there. Though I was a little bit concerned at the start there how spread out that roam was. But really huge mistakes on the roam clear coming out from Samsung really just costing that round. Not able to shut down that pulse. And CC just moving up the scoreboard there with 3 very heavily important kills.
Yeah, it's just you love to see it. I think the phrase that gets thrown around so often, and it was an exceptional, as he said, showing of Pulse and how to kind of bring that operator to this point. Opting to play off the Pulse as we go to the other top floor point, Trophy Statue, and they're going to bring the Mozzie for the information this time. They have the smoke, which is a good pick there, I think, to just give yourself a little bit more control. Bandit's going to try and hold that bedroom wall as well. So I guess we'll see if they can have a little bit of better luck. Obviously, losing your buck when you're pushing an upstairs point and you have them trying to get underneath to an accident like that is a big loss. I say accident. It was great roam. It was an unfortunate happenstance.
It's a bit of it's both, right? It's like CC capitalized on mistakes, but mistakes were made.
Yeah.
So.
It's
also, because you mentioned that DC, our admin, beautiful admin, has just gifted 40 subs. And don't forget, guys, that all of the subs and all the donations and absolutely everything that goes through, they go through to the prize pool. It's a community-funded prize pool. So, like that's great. You know where that money is going. And if anyone else would want to give subs, we've got some nice emotes, I believe, in the works. And it goes a long way.
And that's damn cool.
There you go. They're live on the channel.
Live on the channel. Yeah, you can spam those. I don't know which ones are good to spam. I haven't actually looked at the emotes, but I think I got gifted one as well, which I'm very, very thankful for whoever gifted. Get ready to spam those. Whenever I guess chat, you're always good at working out when emotes should be spammed, which one's a good reaction. Also, sorry mods, I've just called for spam, but it's emote spam, so that's
Don't be
okay.
sorry for spam.
No, it's Siege on Twitch.
I say spam.
Spam.
If it's CCS emails, I'll spam.
Yep.
But getting back into the game.
Yeah, back into the game. They're pushing against the Electra again, wasting no time. And I really like this. She's just being so aggressive with how she's moving, so aggressive with how she's playing. Nancy Drew not far behind. They're going to get this wall open as quickly as possible. Pulses off the board. You're kind of aware of this, but you've obviously still got Mozzie underneath there as well, which can cause some nightmares. They've already been a bit scared of C4's. Bandit is below as well. CC, who had a brilliant game previously, is also creeping there too. They've got the smoke, who can play a bit over the top. It looks like they're trying to bait out a Bandit that just doesn't exist right now. And, it's kind of unfortunate. They're trying to go against the Bandit trick, but Bandit is just in the living room, living.
As one typically does in the living room. But Erica will not be living so far, as Razho still below. Trying to do some stuff. Very heavy roam game coming out so far, it would seem. One bleeding out just on the edge. It could be ice on the book. Still down, but not out just yet. And revive will come through from Sheeny. B-Titan's still looking pretty solid throughout this defense right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've looked very comfortable across the previous round, and we've already talked about how wasting time can be such a big part. And there's 45 seconds left now. And it's just, what ground have we really kind of seen that's been under a solid control? They've cracked the wall open, but they still don't have the vertical cleared. There's another one for CC, who is just cleaning up right now. Electra, who had a really good first half, is kind of struggling to find her feet in the second, as Nancy Drew is going to take the mantle of aggression. The bullets are flying towards CC as well. The buck is droning and moving, wants to get a bit of revenge, but Incognito finds Nancy Drew, and it's looking worse and worse as we go further and further into this round. Smoke is going to push Buck out of there, pops another gas canister. There is at least one on their board. The smoke finally finds the end of Buck. It is Nomad without a hope or a prayer and without any blood left as they clean up, beat Titans, bring it back to level pegging.
Things looking a little bit better there for B-Titans, and now just a couple of rounds away from closing out the map in their favor. And, things looking pretty good for them. Like, they can go to a core site, they can go to an off site, they can come back to a core site, and they can definitely bring this in. B-Titans not looking so hot right now. But I mean, it's still early days. It's still even a piece.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because of how strong they were in those opening rounds and how kind of confident they were and the setups that they had. And I guess it's always the hard thing about when you start to lose a bit of the kind of momentum you've picked up, it can really play against you, especially when the people you're up against, yes, they're now playing on defense, but they're playing on defense very well. And they're playing on it much more kind of comfortably than we ever saw them on attack. So you know, they've got to try and find their way back in, and if there was a round to do it, it's this one.
Everyone's been running a pulse down here.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Hit me with your thoughts on that.
I mean, like, we kind of talked about it last map, about how it's pretty common for a pulse to be run down here. He's very, very, like, protected, because he's literally in the site, and being able to just pulse everything out, get those nitro kills on the board, get that information out for the roamers above, and just, like, just everything goes in your favor. I think the pulse is a great pick here, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, information for me is always so key on a map like this. When you kind of look at how we're holding and how we're pushing and how there's all the kind of balance of that information, you know, that is for me what will win around on a map like this, where there's so many corners, so many places to push from, so many different places for Siege's audio, which is worrying sometimes to like give you triggers, and you've got to rely on that, especially when you know that your attackers are pushing quite aggressively. We've seen the opening push very fast and very hard and very aggressive from these guys before, and they normally manage to find their way in very swiftly. A bit more cover and a bit more aggression there as Nancy Drew sees the head and finds the body of Rezo, and now it is a bit of meeting room control, a bit of bedroom control, even as they push fire. Astro, Nomad is looking for a firefight as they try and close down the other roamer and get vertical, and a beautiful pick there from the gun of Nomad. And now it's just a matter of, you can hear again that continual and consistent aggression. The C4 has been used, does not get a bite, and there is another one. And this is a completely reinvigorated SMS, who are just looking for blood and looking for bodies, and they are currently finding them. 1:26 left on the clock. There's so much time to work with, so much utility and so much positioning to work with, and Sledge is free to just start cracking open this floor, making them uncomfortable, and give themselves a setup to get in.
Dicini still holding down into China, and this should still be a good place to hold down with a shotgun, but this room is getting a little bit smaller by the second. She's actually going to move out and play a little bit more aggressively here, as Nancy Drew going to be and open up this laundry wall. It's exactly the push I was talking about that you really should be doing here. Shnauty is going to take out Electra, however, but the thermite charge is going to send her sky high. Nancy Drew takes her out. It's all down to Dicini, and no nitro remaining. This is not looking good at all. Pre-fires will be coming down. Dicini still holding on. SMG-11 in hand. 35 seconds left to go on the clock, and drones are going to be going out. Absolutely no risk-taking coming out here from Samsung. They really need this win in the bag. B-Titan still holding on, however. Oh, Dicini sees one, unable to press the kill just yet. It's just getting the hell out of there. Still holding down to Memorial, however. Just about 15 seconds left on the clock, and we'll see the fuser is now going down from Nancy Drew. Dicini pushing around, seeing what she can do. Still Memorial, but from above, she's going to take it down. Oh, no, actually, just from outside of Memorial, Iracle could be holding the angle, but just so many crossfires being held there by Samsung.
Wow, it was a very, very good attack from Samsung. It looked like a completely different team from the one that we've seen the past couple of rounds, and now's the time to do it. 5-4, obviously it was the third point, the contingency point, and they're going back upstairs to battle against 2 points that are solid holds. But if they can come with an ounce of the fire and an ounce of the aggression that they just had, I could definitely see it going much better than it was previously.
Yeah, definitely. But still very even. And, you know, Aviator, this is kind of a defense we would expect to go into the favor of B-Times. We'll see how that does play out as we get into round number 10. But still, things looking very, very even here on Villa. What do we think?
I mean, obviously they've kind of changed up a little bit compared to how we saw the hold from SMS. I think SMS is one of the wider holds that I've seen in terms of bringing the ACOG, bringing the castle, locking off 90, whereas this seems like a more familiar from B Titans. But, you know, what we saw last time was exceptional play downstairs. Obviously shutting down the buck and then capitalizing on that, and the movement from CC was exceptional. If they can kind of focus fire and take care of those problems downstairs quickly, SMS might find themselves in a much better situation as they start to try and break against it. What about you?
Yeah, I think you speak for me, honestly. I think, you know, we've definitely seen this book being used, but I'm not sure if it's really been that effective so far. I know you're a big fan of the Nomad being used here as well.
I am, and we haven't actually really seen it used. Well, we've seen Nomad gun quite well, and we've seen them hold angles, but we haven't seen a charge go off yet. So far, if there was a point to do it, this is a good one, because we know that they like to roam on it. We know they like to play aggressive. Ice is going in with cover this time, holding the angle, letting someone else do the droning work for them as they kind of keep that deadly C8 pointed towards anyone that might get close. And now it's just a matter of trying not to get struck the same way they did before, but it's actually going to be the Nomad that suffers first. Taken off the board on the far side, an Astro, and that is Bandit. Wide loose with a Nitro Cell in pocket. And that's just going to be such a big dampener because they know they have to close them down. And you can see someone creeping around. I think that's the Thatcher. He's looking for the firefight for a meeting, but it's a tough one to take.
Misaganito gonna go for the pre-fires to see what she can do there, but Ice is gonna trade out with CC, but Electra does find her lead-up kill. Incognito gonna go down, and now things have evened up to 3 apiece. Just about halfway through the round, as Razo gonna go for this pre-fires into the bathroom, desperately trying to find a gunfight, but almost getting picked up on the cross. Oh, gonna go for the pre-fire, but unable to find the kill just yet, on just bare minimum HP, and trying to desperately survive on this run. Legion Mines are going to get triggered, however. Razo actually going to make it back to 90, amazingly. That's another magic trick being pulled off from Villa.
You know, it's good to see these kind of tricks, but
no, okay.
I mean, if you kind of compare how they were holding this, or you can kind of compare the board to when they were last on this point, this is a much better SMS push. They obviously still have their hard destruction. Nancy Drew, who is having a stormer set of attack rounds so far. Electra has been quick, but has struggled to find the power that she had in the opening defensive holds. And you've got the IQ that's generally been a big part. Iracle too. There's still the good core of a push there. However, obviously, you know, they're not up against nobody. Thatcher is still setting up claymores on the far side, waiting to be able to take care of this vault. Mute is just holding on. Not sure if they've got Mute jammers in pocket. Nope, they're going to shotgun over the top and then let the wall get cracked open. But 20 seconds, they have to capitalize on it. Nancy Drew is the one that's going to be putting pressure on the far side. The angle is still being held. The Legion goes off, turns the back to face it as they try to push in, covers, digs in, has to take the Grismar out of the leg. Electra is trying to act as the cover, but gets cut in half by a shotgun. Nancy Drew at least finds one. Needs to go for blood or a plant. Cannot decide, unfortunately, and has to stick the plant. And you can see the Titans instantly refresh, reinvigorated, and cut a face off.
Cut a face off? I'm sure
yeah,
it's
that.
Is it that?
Well, where does the knife went straight.
Yeah.
Well, it maybe hit Thermite's helmet, but he's
Sure.
still died, so poorly made helmet from the olden days with the elite skin. By now.
Samsung Athena looking pretty good there. I think at the end with the mute shotgunning over 90, I think the idea there was to try and throw a nitro over to deny the thermite charge. But like if you're planning to do that at the start, you should really just have all that shotgun open. I think it was more of instinctive, but like by the time you shotgun that open, it is way too late for you to try and do anything there. But we'll see how things do go down. So moving to round number 11, it's going to be another trophy statutory room defensive for B-Titans. And we're all tied up again at 5 apiece. So still, things very, very, very close here on Villa.
Yeah, I think seeing it battle back and forth like this is really kind of good to see. But this is the point where if it can be taken, by SMS, I would kind of mark them as winning the day, because I think this is such an integral point to win and to take. Obviously, they've just lost the other top 4 point, but they lost it much tighter than the previous time. It was a 2 versus 1. They were trying to get the diffuser down in point. One firefight went the other way, and it could have been their round. They find a little bit more of that kind of luck and skill on this point. I think it will be hard for the B Titans to kind of corral themselves back for that final match point round. Not impossible, though. Just very hard.
So, round 11 getting underway, and we'll see exactly how it is going to be going down. What's it looking a master take here for Samsung?
Bit of opening fire there. Again, one of the things I've really liked about how Samsung has been pushing is the speed and the pace of everything. And it was my biggest kind of gripe with the previous match that we saw, where it was just slow and a bit sluggish and time was always of the essence, whereas here the movement, and to be fair from B-Titans as well, but there goes one of them, Ice, finding and swinging, and CC is the one that's going to actually try and slow them down a little bit. It's going to stick the fight, though, and stick the firefight. But look at how aggressive Samsung are being, and CC still hasn't taken a hit. There they go. Finally dropped by the bullets of Iracle and Ice. Buck taking a sliver of health, but immediately shutting down 2 of them. There goes another. And this is a wonderful display of calculated aggression from the hands of Samsung.
That is a very risky way to try and impact trick. Yeah, you really gotta hit the very top of the wall, and she impacted a little bit too low there. So right, that's a bit dead body. But just gonna confirm the kill there. Incognito moving in below to try and do some other damage here, but it's a 5v2. This is not looking good at all. We'll see how things do go through. Incognito moving all the way through. Oh my god, takes down Nancy Drew with a nice headshot. Samsung not looking too good now. A little bit more delayed on this fight as Mr. Incognito finds yet another one. And it's actually looking much more winnable for B-Titans here. Nope, never mind. Astro control going straight into the control of Samsung. It's all down to Incognito on the Jaeger. Done quite well so far to score a couple kills on the board, but not allowed to have any more. Athena put themselves on a match point here with a decisive attack, and things looking much better for them.
Yeah, that was a wonderful, wonderful round, and you could see it completely kind of took B-Titans by surprise, and I think there were some moments there, because obviously we saw CC try and battle back against the 2 that were pushing, maybe try and pull off a refrag before they pulled back, but it kind of felt a little bit of a waste because they were swinging so aggressively, and if you got one, the chances of you getting both would be, well, it's tough. It's not impossible, but it's very tough. And it becomes a bit of a cost, especially when you've kind of been on the downswing so far. But on the other side of that, SMS, they've really pulled themselves back, and they've kind of refound the fire that they had at the very, very beginning as we go match point back to trophy and statuary. I'm curious to see what changes in the court of B-Titans. Do you think another rush would work again? Do you think they could pull off the same magic twice?
Potentially. I think B-Titans have a little bit better fragging power here. So I'm not really sure. Like, if you're talking about like straight up gunfights, I think we've seen a little bit more impressive stuff from B-Titans. But in terms of like coordinated gunplay, we've seen like quite a lot of trades. I think that's kind of been the defining part of this matchup, has been there's just been trades everywhere.
Yeah, it's really, really good to see. They're just balanced. They're covering each other. Both of them, obviously, this game has been very hard to pull apart who has been better because they've both been doing exceptional things, but in different ways. And the combination of everything is lit up, as we can see in the round count and the match point count. It's just been a very, very tight match.
Attackers moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So, I definitely like the addition of smoke here from Dashini. That's definitely a good addition to be being brought here. I think the impact trick was kind of missing here. You don't want to do the impact trick from that far away. You kind of need to be really, really, really close to do that if you want to be bringing this in.
Well, that's the thing. And I think it's good to try and slow down a team that has so far been moving and kind of thriving in that aggression and just giving yourself a little bit more space, the chance to bring it back. Buck already quite injured from a firefight down below. CC doing a bit more aggression as Incognito is just kind of holding the far side and being consistently spotted. But here is the pairing that was so decisive previously. Not even going for the drone. CC suffers because of it. And they push on through this ground floor. Great work. And comboing the information with the aggression there underneath. Now they still have a bit more work to do. Obviously, last time they'd already killed, I believe, 3 of the defenders. So a good response to pull back a little bit and let them have a bit of ground and find a way to fire the firefight somewhere else. But the drones are heading upstairs now, and they're going to start their cavalcade against the point itself.
Yeah, they will definitely start to do that. Drones are going to be going out all over the place here. As we'll see, Razo is going to be holding down onto Astro and Sheeny. We're repelling outside of Astro here as well. So looks like Samsung really just want to clear out Astro as clearly as possible. Jaeger already going to go down on that roam. Incognito going to be definitely one of the bigger fraggers, already off the border very early on. This is looking very good for Samsung. They're looking to try and thermite open the wall. But Razo from Astro is going to score a kill and actually just get out of there as well.
Yeah, very, very good play there. And it's one of the things that we've seen them do quite well is the kind of speed at responding and moving. There is the impact trick working and going off. No more in the pocket there. Electra just pushes in and gets 2, though. Does get down from the other side, but it's suddenly a 3 versus 1. And Electra pistol kill there, though. And it's shut down by Samsung. And that is match point. And a hell of a way to end a game that has been equally as aggressive as it has been creative.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely very, very well played there at the end by Samsung. Just to quickly rush in and gain those 3 attacks, but definitely one of the closer games we've seen. And I think we all kind of said that this was going to be one of the closer games today.
Yeah,